Hi everyone. So for lab today what we're going to do is the caloric content of food. So we're actually going to burn some food samples and see what they have for calories, and then we'll kind of compare what they have with what's actually on the label. So I have a variety of different food samples for us to try today. So we have some cheese curls, some peanuts, a few marshmallows, and some Fritos. Try to get some interesting things to try to burn. It's actually a fairly simple experiment and a little low tech. We're going to try to do some calorimetry, and instead of using a standard bomb calorimeter, what we're actually going to do is use this aluminum can. We're going to add about 100 mils of water. This has been sitting at room temperature. So we'll measure it out to 100. We're going to mask the can before we put it on, before we put the water in. Then we'll add the water, remass it to get its weight again, get the initial temperature of the water. Then we're going to hook this up in here, and we'll lower it down. And then this little handy dandy thing here, it's a really DIY lab today. We're actually going to take our food sample, put it on the wire. Then we will mass our food sample. Then we're going to put it under the can. We will light it, and we're going to let it burn. And then the heat of the food sample will heat up the water. And the amount that this does, we can actually convert into calories. Yes, we will lose a little bit to the environment, but that's okay. You can kind of get the idea of what's in different types of foods using this method. So we're going to get started, and we'll give it a go. So for trial number 1, we're actually going to burn a Frito. So the first thing we're going to do is get the mass of the aluminum can by itself. The mass of the aluminum can is 9.227 grams. Please record all of these numbers in the data sheet. 9.227 grams. Now I've done 100 mils of water. We're going to pour that into our can. We're going to just use a funnel just to make sure we're not super messy. And then we're going to remass this. Okay, so we have our 100 milliliters in. So the mass of the can and the water are 108.495 grams. So 108.495 grams. Make sure again you record all the numbers, do not round. So now what we need to do is actually get a mass of a Frito sample. So here we have, these are a little old, but they'll still work. Here's our Frito. We're going to try to squeeze it kind of in. We'll turn it around so we're hooked up. I think this will be our best bet. So we're on our plate now. We're going to get the mass of the food sample before burning. The mass of the food before burning is 37.280 grams. 37.280 grams. Now we're going to go set up the can and get ready to light it. So we have our can set up ready to go. So we have our can with 100 mils of water, and it's just suspended using a nice clamp here on the bench. We have our food sample, and we're actually relatively close. We want to be within 2 fingers from our food sample because we really want the heat when it's burning to go straight into that can and heat up the water. We suspended a thermometer, and it's just kind of hanging out. The bottom is not touching the can, it's just in the middle of the water. So the temperature before, so this would be the initial water temperature, and you need to record this. It's a little hard for you to see, but it is set at 23 degrees. So 23 degrees Celsius is the water temperature. 23 degrees Celsius. So now what we're going to do is we're going to light it, let it burn, and then we'll get the final temperature of the water, and then we'll get the mass of this afterwards, once it's done burning. So we got to ignite our little Frito. And the black that you're seeing form around the can, that's carbon black. That's just a byproduct. Ooh, I don't know if you saw a drip of oil coming out. A couple drips. May make you rethink your Frito snack. Here's another drip. Hopefully it stays on the plate. Okay, we self-extinguished, and the highest temperature we obtained right here is 35 degrees Celsius. So, oh no, actually we're going up one. So we are at 36 degrees Celsius. 36 degrees Celsius would be the highest temperature recorded. Okay, and if you get to see this kind of loveliness on the plate, this is what's left after burning, and there's a giant pile of oil underneath. So we're going to mass it. I'm going to bring it over to the scale, or bring the scale over to you. And our final mass for our Frito, please make sure to record all the data now. 36.674. 36.674 grams. On to trial number 2, where we're going to toast a marshmallow.